He followed me from the train, all the way home. It was a cold, rainy Thursday night in November 2021. One of those nights where the sky feels heavy and the streets look like black mirrors. I had just finished a late shift in central London, and all I wanted was to get home, change into warm clothes, and forget the long day. I caught the 10:15 p.m. train heading south towards Surrey, my hometown. The train was quiet, not empty, just subdued. A few scattered passengers sat hunched in their seats, lost in phones, music, or half-sleep. I remember the faint buzz of the overhead lights and the sound of raindrops pattering softly against the window. I took my usual spot, second carriage from the front, left side window seat. I put my headphones in but didn't play anything. I do this sometimes just to avoid conversation, but still be aware of my surroundings. Around Clapham Junction, a man boarded. He didn't rush. He walked in slowly, almost deliberately, glancing briefly around the carriage before sitting diagonally across from me. One row ahead, opposite side. He looked average at first glance, mid to late 30s. Pale skin, wet dark hair slicked to one side with beads of water still dripping from the collar of his long black coat. A leather bag rested in his lap. Nothing stood out, but something in my gut instantly shifted. About 5 minutes after he sat, I noticed his head slowly turn toward me. I looked away, but I could feel his stare. You know when you know someone's watching you? That chill that creeps across your shoulders? I glanced at the window to catch his reflection. He wasn't blinking, just staring directly at me, his face blank, eyes wide open. I pretended to scroll through my phone. Every so often I'd look back at the reflection. Still staring. Still motionless. I tried to convince myself I was being paranoid. Maybe he was just tired, zoning out. But my body didn't believe it. My skin was tight with tension. As the train neared my stop, I made a quick decision. I waited until the very last moment before standing, just as the doors hissed open. Sure enough, the moment I moved, so did he. Same pace, same direction. We stepped off onto the small, dimly lit platform. Most people had already disappeared toward the parking lot or taxi area. I could hear the echo of my footsteps, and his, right behind me. Slow. Steady. Too steady. I took the main road home, a familiar 15-minute walk. Quiet. Suburban. With just enough streetlights to keep it from feeling abandoned. Every time I turned around, he was there. Same distance. Not chasing, not slowing down, just following. I crossed the street without warning. He followed. I faked a turn toward the park entrance, then looped back to the sidewalk. So did he. I texted my flatmate. I think someone's following me. Are you home? No reply. My phone showed a single tick, message not even delivered. Now my heart was pounding. There's a 24-hour corner shop just before my street. I walked straight in. Didn't hesitate. I pretended to browse, picked up a bottle of water, but I was watching him through the glass window. He stood just outside, not pacing, not even pretending to look at his phone, just watching. The cashier, a man in his 50s I'd seen before, noticed my nervous glances. I leaned over and said low, "That man's been following me since the train." He looked outside, nodded silently, then stepped out under the shop's awning with a cigarette in hand. I watched the man, the follower, glance toward the cashier. Then, without a word, he turned and walked away down the street. I waited another full minute. Then I ran. I sprinted the last 2 blocks to my flat. My hands were shaking so badly I fumbled with the keys. Finally got inside, slammed the door, locked both bolts. I leaned against it, gasping. Then I froze. From the hallway, just outside the door, I heard footsteps. Software heavy, deliberate, slow. I didn't move. I crept to the peephole. He was standing there, not knocking, not shouting, just standing, inches from the door, staring at it like he could see through. His breathing was loud, too loud. I backed away and called the police. They arrived 12 minutes later. The hallway was empty. He was gone. No one saw him leave. No CCTV on that floor. No trace. But the next morning, there was a note under the door. Just a single, chilling line written in crooked black ink. You looked peaceful on the train.